Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging hour discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Kuchera, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome in. Good afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live as we roll through the week. We are Thursday and got a great program for you today. First couple segments, I'm going to talk about interest rates, what kind of loan program. The question I threw out to you today, the audience, are you in the right loan program and rate before rates go up in a rising environment, interest rate environment? So real quick summary. I'll get started with that topic in just a couple of minutes. And then last part of the show, last two segments, I'm going to welcome in a guest, Ken McElroy. He's an author of the ABCs of Real Estate Investing. He's over 26 years and has invested over $700 million in real estate. There's a lot of interest in real estate investment activity and experts, so we try to rotate then, get those gentlemen, get those people in, and the people that are really good at what they do. So that'll be the last two segments. As usual, it's a live show from 3 to 4, so a couple different things. One, we're with you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Just a reminder, you could tune in on the radio, KDOW 1220 AM. Normally every day we're doing live streaming on Facebook and social media, but today we are not. Having some problems with the equipment. So for those, I apologize that are listening to this later. Normally we are be able to access this show live. I know it's a popular thing to do, and it's great to do. We like to do it, but not going to be able to do that today. Monday through Friday from 3 to 4 Pacific Daylight Time, we are live. Now, if you want to listen to us online, you could do that anywhere, no matter if you're outside of our listening area. If you go to kdow.biz, that's kdow.biz, and if you just click on the big button that says Listen Live, you can listen to our show anywhere. And then, of course, we have the podcast, which I've downloaded thousands and thousands and thousands each month and continue to do that. It's very exciting. It's great to get that message out to people all over the place. Glad you're enjoying it and sharing it. You could get the podcast and download that by going to iTunes and typing in Real Estate Radio Live, or you go to our website, Real Estate RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. If you want to get your calls on the air, if you have any questions for us during the show, the way to do that, two different ways. One, a toll-free 800 number, 1-800-516-1220. That's 1-800-516-1220 if you have any questions for me or my guests during this hour. If you're listening to the podcast, the best way to reach us is 408-838-9060 or email joe@reradiolive.com. All right, let's jump in, talk a little bit about, I want to make sure that I cover this, and I'll do this for the next couple of months on and off, but just a reminder, my primary business, most of you know, is residential financing. I've been doing that for nearly 20 years. But I'm affiliated with a number of different professionals in and around real estate. We have a great network and group here at Real Estate Radio Live to help you with anything to do with real estate. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about interest rates. I'd like you to take a strong look at what kind of loan program you're in right now. It doesn't matter if it's your primary residence, secondary home, investment properties. Find out right now, seriously, and I mean this because here we are in October. I could tell you that the Fed's going to raise most likely in December, it looks like. And if we forecast, which we have to forecast, most of people that say, don't worry about it, I think you should worry about it. Most of us that are in business and we study and we collect data and we keep an eye on the horizon of what's happening in the future, we forecast. So right now the forecast is that the Fed will raise the prime at least 3 times in 2018. So what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is we could see the 30-year money up around 5% or more, 5% or more by the end of next year. Now, there's no guarantee this is going to happen, but here's what I would do. I would plan for it to happen. My point is, interest rates, I would look at your mortgages right now in your loan programs, and I would plan for interest rates a year from now to be at 5% on the 30-year money. I would plan for it. Now, if it doesn't happen, that's great. If it goes up even further, that's great too, if you were smart enough when you planned. So I'm going to tell you now, and the reason why is we're going to start ticking up soon, and we're going to have another Fed rate increase in December. Now, not to be confused, the Fed rate does not always equate to, that doesn't mean the 30-year fixed or the 30-year money is automatically going up. However, it usually trails it, because when the Fed raises the interest rate, the prime lending rate, what that typically means is that the economy is doing better, gaining steam, job growth, a lot of things that are coming together would indicate that they have to start raising interest rates. We can't keep at these interest rates. As much as we enjoy them, much as we love them, believe me, they're not going to be around much longer. Now, so I want you to take this serious. If you're out there and you're not quite sure, maybe you're in a 5-1 arm or a 3-1 arm or a 7-1 arm, and now all of a sudden you're thinking, I think I am going to have this property longer. I would encourage you to strongly consider a longer-term loan, a 30-year fixed, or maybe something that will extend your program longer. If you're in an interest rate, seriously, if you're in an interest rate that are in the high 4s or 5s, or for some reason, take a look at that. The other one I want you to really look at strong and really seriously is anyone out there that has home equity lines of credit. If you have seconds on your property and you don't have any intention to pay them down or pay them off in the next couple of years, I would strongly consider, or recommend, I should say, that you combine the first and second and get rid of that second. Here's the reason why. Those seconds are tied to prime. Right now, the prime is at 4.25. So those prime interest rates are going to do nothing but go up. They're going to do nothing but go up. So you're going to see those rates go up big time on your seconds, number one. Number two, if you have an home equity line second and you're closing in on the 10-year term, because most of them are 10-year terms and then they recast, if you're closing in, if you're 5 or more years into your home equity line and you still have a balance, seriously, I want you to consider rolling those together, maybe refinancing a first and a second. Here's the problem I think people run into, and I want to clarify this, and I want to really educate people on this. Someone will say, I hear this all the time, Joe, I'd love to do it, but I got this great interest rate on my first. I got a 3.75 interest rate on my first. I don't want to mess with that. And they're always surprised when I run the numbers and I do what's called a blended rate. Now, what that means is, so if you have a 3.75 on your 30-year fixed right now, and you have let's say, normally they're prime plus something. Let's say right now your home equity line's at 5% interest only. Everybody's excited about the interest only payment because it's a false payment. It's a false payment. You're never paying it down. So you're at 5%. A year from now, you could be at 6%. So when you take a 3.75 and a 6% interest rate and you blend those, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Your interest rate is a lot higher than 3.75, depending on what balance you're carrying on your second. Most people are surprised when I do this exercise with them and I show them, even if you consolidate your rates, now depending on what your loan amount is, what your value is on your home, your credit scores, all that thing, you could still get a 30-year fixed less than 4%. I'm telling you, I'm really, I don't want to see people stuck in this predicament, this situation. Roll those together. Consolidate those. Unless you have a purpose for paying them down or paying them off, then really consider that. Believe me, even if you had that 3.75 go up to 4%, but you consolidated that money and you eliminated the potential 6% interest rate on that second, you'd still be better overall. Most people get hung up on that first loan, and they're not focused on what the blended rate is. If you understand that exercise, do it, or I'm happy to do it. Give me a call. We could do that. If you have any questions during this show about interest rate, maybe the program you're in, give me a call, 1-800-516-1220, or you could always text the question in, 408-838-9898. 9060. Now, over the next couple of months, I'll continue to remind everybody the reason why this is, for me, an alert button. If you've listened to my show the last 7 or 8 years, you know when I hit the alert button or when I talk about something, it's because I'm really, really sure that things are going to change and they're going to happen. So I want you to position yourself the best you can for the future, and rates will go up. And now most people might say, "Well, Joe, you said that last year and they didn't." I know that, but it was an interesting year. We all know for all kinds of different reasons. And again, we forecasted. If you sat here this time last year, and I was talking about rates going up this year, and they've gone up a little bit, but they've come back down a little bit, and they're about the same, a little bit higher. But guess what? If you forecasted for that, ladies and gentlemen, you did your job. You did your job. It's not perfection. It's not reading the crystal ball. It's forecasting. When you base your business and your life on forecasting, you can only do the best you can, but you're fending off the worst, and that's what you really want to do. And that's why we go through these exercises. So if you have a first loan that's an adjustable loan, or maybe a 5-1 arm, 3-1 arm, 5-1 arm, I'm going to encourage you to extend that and look at doing something different. Now, all right, we're going to take a break. When I come back, I'm going to take the next segment, and I'm going to continue to talk about interest rates, programs, encourage you out there. If you don't know what you have, give me a call. Maybe you have a short-term loan. Maybe we need to consolidate a first and second. We're going to help you work through that. 1-800-516-1220. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. We'll be back with you in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Bay Area housing competition is fierce, and everyone wants to know one thing. What is a winning strategy? What does it really take to stand out from the rest and get my offer accepted? Hi, this is Joe Kuchera, host of Real Estate Radio Live. If you feel like winning in this market is a challenge, you're not alone. The good news is getting your offer accepted on that home is not impossible. It just takes an experienced team and a solid strategy. With the right support, you can structure the strongest offer. Factors such as credit, down payment, income type, and lending programs are all important. Did you know that people are even using personal touches such as letters, photos, and videos to stand out? So let's talk through structuring the strongest offer for you. From critical steps in pre-approval to creating a custom plan to win the home of your dreams, we can succeed in this market together. Call 408-838-9060 or email Joe at RERadiolive.com.
Real estate broker Cal DRE, NMLS number 6606.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDLW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live with you Monday through Friday from 3 to 4. Today we're talking about the first couple segments, I should say. The question I'm throwing out to the audience, are you in the right loan program and rate? As rates go up, and they will most definitely, we're looking at a forecast of the Fed raising in December, and then the Fed raising again at least 3 times next year. That would put us up in interest rates in the 5% number, 5% interest rate right in that area. You know, historically speaking, 5% is still pretty good. For most of it's been around in a while. When I bought my first house in 1987, it was about 12% on an adjustable. I had an adjustable interest rate at 12%. Of course, back then I bought my first house for $118,000. But it doesn't matter. It's all relevant. I mean, 12%, 13%. So for those of us that have been around and seen the interest rates like that, we've done nothing but benefit from interest rates declining over the last couple of decades, which is wonderful. But all good things come to an end at one point or another, and I think the thing that I get concerned about is most people are in this kind of delusionary state that don't worry, the rates will just come back down. I know they'll go up a little bit, but they'll come back down. Let me tell you what happens when they go up fast. They go up fast. When they come down slow. They may come down a lot, but they've, And that's what happens. So, again, I encourage you out there, if you're listening to this, take a look at your loans. Take a long look at them. If you're in an ARM, consider changing it. If you think you're going to be in that property for more than 4 to 5 years, consider a longer-term loan. If you are in a 30-year fixed, and maybe you're thinking, well, you know what, I'd really like to accelerate the pay down or pay off. I'm going to be retiring in 10 years. I really want to eliminate some of this debt. Maybe now is the time to look for a 15-year fixed. They even have 20-year fixed out there. You know, a lot of people refinance. They don't want to go back to a 30. Most people don't tell you that, but you could amortize a loan for whatever you want. You could customize your loan. You don't have to go to a 30 fixed. You go to 25, you go to a 20, you go to 22, you could go to a 15, you go to an 18. Now, most people will round it and do different things, but there's that options. There's a lot of options, and that's what I'm going to encourage everybody out there to look at. If you have a second, be careful with that. As the Fed raises the prime, that's going to affect the biggest way. The rates are going to be affected in the biggest way on the home equity line of second. It's going to be affected on credit cards, auto loans, things like that, personal loans. It's going to be affected a lot. So look at all your properties right now. Do what's called a mortgage review. For the clients that I work with, every year we do a mortgage review. We try to get them on the phone. It's not always possible, so we send emails or updates and let them know, take a look at the loan. Is it the right loan? How much longer you're going to be in the house? Maybe you're not going to be in that long. Here's the other thing a lot of people don't think about. What if you know for a fact you're going to sell? I know this is kind of a reverse way to think, but it's a great way to save money. What if you know for a fact you're going to sell your house in a couple of years and you're in a 30-year fixed percent, let's just say, and you know you're going to sell your house in the next couple of years and you have a ton of equity already? What do you think you should do? Some people would say, well, just stay where I am. That's true. I mean, that's one way to do it. Another thing to do would be maybe refinance out of that into a no-cost, no-point, no-fee, interest-only loan fixed for 5 years or something, drop the payment a certain amount, take all that money, invest it into your retirement, savings, pay something off, pay something down. I mean, what if you knew you were going to be out of your house in a couple of years and you changed your loan and saved and you had a $400 to $500 a month benefit from it? What if you were able to save $500 a month by changing your loan and you really weren't worried about paying the principal because you're going to be out of your house in a couple of years and you have a lot of principal to begin with? What would be the benefit? Maybe the next couple of years, that $500 a month could go towards paying off other debt, maybe paying college education, maybe subsidizing or adding it to your 401k, maybe giving that extra $500 to your financial planner. Put those numbers together over the next couple of years. Instead of paying a little tiny bit of principal, what could that $6,000 to $7,000 a year with your financial planner or your investment vehicles, what could that do for you? Or beef up your savings. Again, pay down debt, do some things. What I'm suggesting is a lot of people don't pay enough attention to their mortgage. They just look at it as it's this ridiculous liability sitting there, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. Once I've done it, I fixed it. I say look at it entirely different. Manage your mortgage. What if you have $500,000 sitting in your investment account? Do you not care about that? Why not manage your $500,000 liability the best you can, in the best strategy you can? Is that loan program, is that rate the best you can? Is that the best thing you could do with that $500,000 liability, for example? Or $200,000 liability? Or $1 million liability? What I'm going to encourage you to think is think out of the box a little bit and understand that this is your loan, your liability, your property. What can you do to best leverage yourself, put yourself in a situation where your life improves over the next couple of years because of the strategies in which you put into place and implement completely? I work with a lot of financial planners, a lot of great financial planners. And you know what they do? They meet with their clients at least once or twice a year. And this is why I love working with financial planners. And they sit down and they look at the big picture, the whole thing. They look at your mortgage, what you're investing in, what your strategies are, any kind of college plans, retirement plans, investment plans? Do you want to buy a property? Do you want to retire? They look at all this stuff with you. When you purchase a home or when you sell your home, typically no one in our business helps you with this stuff. A lot of people will consult with their CPAs, their financial planners before they do any of this stuff. And what I'm suggesting is that surround yourself with a team of people like we have at Real Estate Radio Live, the people that we work with. Surround yourself with a team of people that care about you and that wants to do best for you for helping you plan for now and for the future. Don't make the mistake and do business with people that are transactional. You've heard me say this before. Here are the types of people that are transactional. The people that can't wait to sell your house, can't wait to help you buy a house, can't wait to get you a loan, can't wait to get you an insurance policy. But guess what? You could tell that their goal is to cross that finish line as soon as possible to collect their commission. When that red flag comes up, everybody knows you've worked with people like that before. Work with someone that is helping you make a wise decision and that talks about the future of your mortgage, of your house, of your insurance policy. We've all done it. We've worked with people like that. Don't waste your time working with real estate agents, loan officers, insurance agents, anybody that is purely focused on the commission they make off you. It's too valuable. Don't do it. Even if it's a friend, you could say, oh, Joe, man, this real estate agent, they've been great. What do you mean they've been great? Have they followed up with you? The loan officer's been great. Why? Because they got you into a loan? Good. That's what we're supposed to do. But did they follow up with you? Do they contact you once a month? Do they send you something? When your rate gets ready to change, when the market changes, do they update you? Does your real estate agent contact you every year? Do they check in with you, find out what's going on? Most of them don't. Work with someone that cares about you for now and for the future. All right, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, our guest should be on the line, Mr. Ken McElroy. We're going to talk about real estate investing, some strategies around that, what's going on in the marketplace, and much, much more. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live, 1-800-516-1220. I'll be back with you in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Hi, this is Joe Kuchera, host of Real Estate Radio Live and Bay Area Mortgage Planner. In addition to being your home financing expert, please remember you could always contact me for other trusted advisors such as realtors, financial planners, and CPAs. Please feel free to contact me at 408-838-9060. That's 408-838-9060, or email joe at RERadiolive.com, or visit my website at RERadiolive.com for more details.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live as we roll through the week. Remember, we're with you Monday through Friday from 3 to 4. You could tune in at KDOW 1220 AM. Or if you happen to miss the live show, please be sure to download the podcast at iTunes. Type in Real Estate Radio Live, or you go to our website, RERadiolive.com. Most of you know the focus for nearly 8 years since I've been on the air and podcasting has been education information. What do I mean by that? We try to provide you with great content, great guests like today, and much, much more to continue to educate and inform you to help you be a much more wise consumer in and around your real estate. So we invite my guest in. He's been on the show a couple times. Mr. Ken McElroy is an author. Robert Kiyosaki, actually real estate advisor as well, and has been investing in over 26 years and over $700 million in real estate. So this gentleman knows what he's doing, and he's here to share a little bit of time with us. Welcome back, Ken. How are you?
Hey, Joe. How are you? Nice to be on again. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's always good to have you. It is a another day in real estate, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot to provide for us. But before we jump in, we got a couple segments here to pick your brain a little bit, Ken, and let us know what's going on and give us some feedback and some philosophical thoughts about a number of different things. Before we do that, maybe you could give the listeners a little idea of your background.
Sure, happy to. Yeah, I grew up in the Seattle area. Started buying real estate basically right out of college. I was my first real job was property management, and that's actually where I got my most of my experience, kind of understanding it from an income and expense standpoint. That really gave me the courage to buy at some point, even though I didn't know how. I didn't, and I had a little bit of money, so I bought one 2-bedroom condo with my own money, and then I bought another one, and then I ran out of money, and then I had to learn how to syndicate. So I did that, and that was over 20 years ago, and now we have 9,000 units, 300 employees, and we're in multiple states, and I got quite a business. Just kind of started really out of nowhere.
Yeah, you did. You've had a lot of success. Tell us a little bit of how you became the Rich Dad Advisor. I mean, everybody knows the famous original book by Robert Kiyosaki. How long has that been, by the way? Now it's been 20 years, or
yeah, we just had our 20-year anniversary. Yeah, so I met Robert a little bit, literally right after he wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. At the time, it was not the mega hit that it is now, and has kind of a bit of a cult following, I guess, now. But back then, he was just a guy that had written a book, and it was doing really well. And I happened to be raising capital at that point. So for me, he was just another person that I was trying to raise capital from. At the time, we grew to be very good friends. He asked me to write some books, which I did. I wrote 4 real estate books in the series. And then I'd spoken and all that. So for me, I give all the proceeds back for my books and speaking and everything to charity. But I love the platform. I love educating. I love traveling around and to new places, and I love being part of the Rich Dad team. They're all a dynamic group of people, and we do it all for free. It's all volunteer, and it's really, really, really fun.
That's great. I mean, and he's been doing this a long time, educating a lot of people. There's so many advocates now, and there's a lot of people that tell the story of the mission. This is definitely something, isn't it, Ken? Talk a little bit about the longevity of this, and what I mean by is that, I've been doing the radio for 8 years. I've interviewed, over 1,200 people, talked to, double that with the consumers when you're counting emails and texts and all that. I guess my point is there's so many programs that come and go. There's a lot of people that are in quick to try to make a quick buck, and then they duck out. It's really hard to know who to trust, is my point, because there's so much coming at us.
Boy,
so this is quite a statement. Yeah, talk a little bit about how 20 years later, still a brand name, still credibility, still ethical, still people following, still a lot of models being around this kind of this concept. And to me, this is amazing because this doesn't happen a lot.
No, it doesn't. And, it's interesting, too, Joe. I came from literally the real estate investing world, the property management side of things, multifamily, commercial, self-storage. So I was already doing all that, and I got kind of thrust into the books and the speaking and all that. So I had a very interesting perspective on that. And I particularly don't really like the industry. I don't like the people who stand up on stage and try to sell books and tapes and stuff. And I think that's the difference. So the reason why I agreed to be part of the Rich Dad organization is, Robert and Kim have plenty of money. They have plenty of real estate investments, and they have plenty of stuff going on. They don't really need to make money from books and tapes and speaking. And so they really are mission-based. I know, everybody talks about that, but there's a reason that they're around 20 years later, and it's because the core, they don't let people sell from stage ever, which I love. And, all we can ever do and all the advisors could ever do is teach. And so we've had, over the years, you can imagine, we've gone from city to city, and when I can, I go. But we have people that get up there and they're trying to sell all kinds of stuff, and they're up there for a very short period of time because they try to use that platform. Can be a powerful platform, and whenever you have that kind of power, you can abuse it. And I think that's what happens. That's the difference. And Robert's core, right to the core, The only thing he cares about is helping people and educating them. Sometimes, his delivery isn't always the best. He's got a military background, he's a Marine, and but honestly, I know him extremely well, and he's true to the core when he's really trying to educate.
Yeah, the other part of it is, you mentioned a little bit, is that there are people that to get on stage, and whether it's online or TV or radio or whatever it is, because they're all over, that try to take advantage. Let's face it, we all know kind of, motivation 101, right? If you get someone somewhere in front of a audience on front of the TV, I mean, we can go on and on about QVC and all the habits, the behaviors, the buying habits of people. Once we get a little motivated and jacked up a little bit, we tend to grab our wallet and look to spend some money. But there are people that take advantage of that opportunity temporarily to make money on the short term. And then there are people like Robert, yourself, and others that, really embrace this, endorse it, and live by it, because you want the person that was listening to you today to come back to you, 3, 4, 5 years from now and tell their success stories. I
do. I want people to know me as a real estate investor and an entrepreneur. I don't want them to think of me as an author, bookseller, speaker, and which is why I don't really do a lot of it. I literally, I get up every day, I'm looking at deals, I'm raising capital. We have a big company now, and that's where I spend my time. And so when I can, I jump on board and I go and I teach, and I like to teach, and I realize that I don't actually even have any prepared canned things. I'm literally just speaking about things that I'm working on or have worked on, and I honestly am trying to help people understand some of the mistakes and failures, because I've had plenty of things that I've done, and just try to shorten that process for them. That's all I'm trying to do.
Got it. Very good. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the important part of when buying a house. I know a lot of people. There's a lot of interest in investing. I said that before. That's why I like to have people like yourself on, because I get calls, emails, texts a lot about, Joe, where should I invest? What do you think? And I've done a little bit myself, but I'm certainly not an expert like you. That's why I have experts on. What's the most important thing for that? Someone's out there listening to this show right now when buying a property. What are the do you have like a checklist or a thought process you could take us through?
Yeah, I do. It's funny because I think there are 3 things that people always consider. 1 is money, 2 is the actual property, and 3 is the market. And they always have them wrong, in my opinion. So the way we've done it, the way I've gone about it, is I always first research the heck out of the market, Joe. I think that the market will completely help you, even if you buy incorrectly, which hopefully you don't, but some people do. A market can save you. And so I always make sure that I'm going to a market that I think is going to be doing very, very well from years from now. And so that's the very first thing. And then inside of that market, there are submarkets, I mean, we all know, like, there's good sides of this, literally good sides of the street, bad sides of the street. Sometimes it's a freeway, sometimes it's a lake, sometimes it's an Air Force base or whatever it is. There are always good areas and bad areas of every city that I'm in. And I'm in most every big city in Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona, and so we're very selective on the market. And I think that a lot of times people they chase a cheap deal on the edge of town, and then they say, real estate doesn't work because we can't get a renter out here. Well, when maybe that's not an area that has a good school, or maybe the commute's too far, and there's 100 things. 100 mistakes people make when they invest.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we're going to take a quick break here in about 30 seconds. But I want to, before we do that, I'll give it towards the end too. What is the best place to reach you or get a hold of you if people want more information about what you do and your company? And is it a phone number, website? What's the best way to do that, Ken?
Thank you. Yeah, our company is MC Company, so MC Company, COMPANIES.com. And then I'm also KenMcElroy.com.
Great. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to finish up with Ken. We're going to talk a little bit about real estate. How's he raising capital? What are the markets to be in? Is there anything that he would recommend or not recommend. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live, 1-800-516-1220 if you want to call. We'll be back with you to continue in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com.
Ignorance is not always bliss. Hi, this is Joe Kuchera, host of Real Estate Radio Live, and you probably know that information is my primary objective. That is why I wanted to share an important fact. Nearly one-third of Americans are unaware of how much equity they have, and it's a lot. Even though over 90% of homes across the nation are in a positive equity position, Fannie Mae estimates that 32% of homeowners fail to recognize the opportunity. It's like having a savings account that you forget about. The study also cites that 69% of homes have significant equity, greater than 20%. Here in Silicon Valley, where values have risen so drastically, that figure is likely much higher. Wondering how much equity you actually have? Call me and we could chat about your home's current position and the opportunities it presents. Let's make sure you know all of your options. Call 408-838-9060 or email joe@reradiolive.com.
Real estate broker Cal DRE, NMLS number 6606.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining us this afternoon as we wind down the show. Just about 7 minutes or so left. We are joined by Ken McElroy, real estate investor, the ABCs of real estate investing, 26-plus years, over $700 million. And in real estate, part of the Kiyosaki Real Estate Advisor Group. Here, joined with us to just a couple more minutes. If you have any questions, I know we have a text here. I'll try to get that to him in a minute. If you have any questions, two ways you could do it. You call in, 1-800-516-1220, or you could text 408-838-9060. All right, so just a few minutes left or so, 5 or 6 minutes. Ken, you talked a little bit about... how about the market? You talked a little bit about that. You kind of went through categories of the top three things. I know we talked about what's important to buying a property. Is it your take that regardless of the market, it's always right depending on the person, or do you study the market and there's red flags, you try to stay away from that? What type of what is your thought in terms of markets?
Yeah. Well, it depends on what I'm trying to do. So, for example, if I'm buying a single-family home, a condo is different than a custom home, let's say, or a multifamily is different from a self-storage or a retail or an industrial. So, and of course, we do all those things. So yes, it's a great question. So let's say that I'm going in and looking to build a storage facility or buy one. What I'm looking for are rooftops and how many storage facilities are supplying the rooftops. And so that's one thing. If I'm buying multifamily, I'm going in and I'm taking a look at how much supply and versus how much demand, based on the location, and looking at historical occupancies and things like that. So each one's a little bit different, but real estate, I think there's still a lot of buy opportunities in real estate all over the map. You just got to kind of figure out where they are. I just bought an office building here in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is where I am, in an area that is a very, very high-end area that was owned by the same owners for 30 years, and we put a couple $1 million into it and completely turned it around. In a pretty hot market. So there are lots of things you can do everywhere.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you have to be. I mean, of course, you've done it for so many years, and your fillers out. People know who you are. You guys are all. You have, in other words, you have all these different outlets that things come in. If someone's just getting started and they're just they'd love the idea of investing long term, but they also want to learn and do what's right and be smart and get connected. Obviously, would you encourage them to contact someone like you or adopt a program and kind of learn in a boot camp, so to speak?
I would encourage them to listen to as many podcasts on your program and some of the others. I would encourage them to find a local mentor. I would stay local. I would find somebody who's been doing what they want to do, even if that changes, and find somebody that's 20, 30 years in the business that can meet once a week for an hour, a cup of coffee or something, and that's literally what I did. I found mentors and I met with them. I met with a guy for 10 years, almost twice a month. And,
wow.
I always went into that meeting with things to ask, and it was always free. And, I think there's a lot of good information, a lot of good people out there, but they don't ever get asked. I'm always surprised about that, how many times, really, really top producers in markets will give you their time if you ask. And so, pick a category. Even if you don't end up there, you're going to learn a lot. And just start asking and start meeting with people and carve out some time.
Yeah. Well, just a couple minutes left. What about so raising capital? Again, I know you guys do it on a regular basis. You're tapped into a community of all this. So it's easier once you're established and you have a reputation, things are moving forward. How does a person go about raising capital if they need to for invest? Let's say they see this opportunity.
Question. Yeah, I made the mistake, Joe, in this area. I thought I needed a bunch of money before I bought something, and really what I found is everybody said, yes, go get me something. So then I went out and found deals, and then that was when actually everything positive started happening, was I would bring deals to people, and honestly, most of them that said they would invest didn't. But I would ask them why, and they would educate me about what they're looking at, and so it's just a network. And so if you find a deal that makes sense, the truth is, Joe, it hardly ever sits for long. So all great real estate deals kind of start in the mind. They're not from some listing. They're not prepackaged. They're not going to land in your inbox perfectly, because if it was, everybody would be, clamoring for it. You got to look at things like a vacant building and stick a tenant in it. I mean, it sounds so simple, and it is. A vacant building that's $1 million with a tenant in it is $3 or $4 million. You know what I mean? So it's just that simple. And so I think that you gotta, the more people educate themselves, the more listen to podcasts and read books and meet with people, they're going to start to see things in areas that they have possibly never seen before, and their world will start opening up, and they'll start to see it, and then they can start putting the pieces together. But investors invest in deals, so
very good. Yeah, no, it's well said. We got about a minute left. I want to make sure again. Why don't you give out the information where people could best contact you again, Ken, if they want more information about all the success
so our company is MC Companies, McCompanies, and then I have www.kenmcelroy, KenMcElroy.com. So either one.
Very good. Hey, Ken, I want to thank you for the time, and we'll have you back here again, maybe in the next month or so to check in, or if something comes up that you think's pertinent, always reach out and give us a call. Always love to interview.
Great, Joe. Hey, thanks again for having me on again. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Take care. We'll be in touch later, Ken. Hang on. We'll be back with you in a minute. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Thanks again for checking in. Running out of time. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Take care.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Tune in, log in, download our podcast. Discover more at RERadiolive.com. RERadiolive.com.